Hello, and welcome back to the Forging Indestructible Self-Discipline podcast. Today, we are diving into a reality that most people actively avoid. We are talking about the hidden, often painful price of integrity. We hear about living a life guided by strong personal values all the time. It sounds wonderful in theory. People love to talk about having a moral compass. We celebrate the heroes who stand their ground in movies and books. Yet the reality of practicing this kind of relentless self-discipline in your daily life often feels entirely different. Choosing to stick to your deeply held beliefs requires a level of personal sacrifice that very few people are willing to openly discuss. Today, we're exploring why having the discipline to stand by your values can sometimes put you out on an island all by yourself, and why that is exactly where you need to be. Let us start by looking at where the friction usually begins. It rarely starts with a massive, life-altering decision or a dramatic cinematic moment. The friction usually starts in small, seemingly harmless ways. Maybe you decide to stop participating in the toxic gossip with your coworkers in the break room. You just quietly step away. Perhaps you choose to spend your weekends working on a personal goal, building a business, or training, instead of going out for drinks every single night like the rest of your social circle. When you start saying no to the things that contradict your values, you inevitably start saying no to people. It is unavoidable. Every boundary you set is a mirror held up to someone else. And not everyone likes what they see. This is exactly where the quiet separation begins to take shape in your daily routine. You do not announce your departure. You just slowly drift away from the noise. Over time, this consistent self-discipline can leave you feeling like you're stranded on an island. You might look around one day and realize your social circle has shrunk significantly. Friends might stop inviting you to events because they assume you will just decline anyway. They might even feel quietly judged by your discipline, even if you never said a single word about their choices. This isolation is not necessarily intentional on anyone else's part, but it is a very natural byproduct of walking a path that diverges from the crowd. You're forging a different path. And that means walking away from the beaten, comfortable trail. You look around, and suddenly, it is just you. The silence can be deafening. Standing on that island alone can be incredibly taxing on your mind and your spirit. We have to acknowledge that. Humans are naturally wired for connection and belonging. It is deeply embedded in our DNA to seek the safety of the tribe. When your commitment to your values forces you to step away from the group, you have to fight against your own biological urge to fit in. That is an exhausting battle. Doubts will naturally creep into your mind. You will catch yourself staring at the ceiling at 2 a.m., wondering if you are just being too rigid. You will ask yourself if you are taking things entirely too seriously, or if you should just compromise a little bit to make things easier. The echo chamber of isolation can sometimes make your self-discipline feel like a punishment rather than a superpower. But here's the absolute truth you need to hold on to when those doubts creep in. Despite the loneliness, there is a profound, unshakable peace that comes from this intense level of self-discipline. When your actions align perfectly with your internal compass, you sleep much better at night. You no longer have to carry the exhausting, heavy burden of pretending to be someone you are not just to please the people around you. Think about how much of your daily energy is wasted wearing a mask to fit in. The island you are on right now might be quiet, but is completely free from the heavy noise of compromise, people-pleasing, and regret. You're finally breathing your own air. And here's the ultimate payoff for your discipline. Eventually, the people who truly belong in your life will make their way out to meet you. When you hold firm to your values, you stop being a chameleon and you start acting like a lighthouse. You become a beacon for others who share your exact same convictions. The isolation you are feeling right now is almost always a temporary season. It is a necessary season that clears out the weak, inauthentic relationships to make way for genuine, meaningful connections. Until those new connections form, you can find immense comfort in knowing this one simple fact. Standing alone with your integrity is always better than standing in a crowd feeling completely lost. So keep your standards high. Hold the line. I want to thank you for listening to the Forging Indestructible Self-Discipline podcast. If you got something out of it, please hit that like button, and I'll see you in the next episode.